शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः।
Moksha, as you know, is abidance in the true nature of oneself. Abidance in the true nature, in the sense, the direct cognition of what truly I am. Moment by moment, we do experience ourselves as a sentient entity. Yet, what is experienced is mixed or intermixed with whatever that is not me and all the characteristic features of what I am not, called otherwise Anatma. No doubt that sentiency aspect, the Sachetanata, the Chaitanya aspect, actually belongs to my true nature. If we can cognize that in its native form, not mixed with anything else, that is the direct cognition of what I am, otherwise called as aparoksha jnana, aparoksha anubhuti, a direct cognition what I am, but not knowing what it is. We mix up the physical body, the vital airs, pranas, sense organs, organs of actions, antakarana as our feature, and take all those characteristic features of these as belonging to me, and that is what we call as samsara, and the existence of limitations, tensions, sorrows, birth, death. Now, what is the way out? People think, generally because these words like moksha, etc. are common, and everyone wants to get freed from this, they ask what the path is. Path is simple. You have come here now. Mahabaleshwar. After 10 days, where will you go? Will you ask anyone path? Why not? Because you know the path you have come, is it not? Retrace, that's all. So therefore, if path for moksha, etc., retrace. Find out from where you have come, go back, that's all. So that's why the error has to be set right. So that being the case, that direct cognition of what I am, not mixed with other thing, that whatever that is not me, that itself is aparoksha jnana, that itself, that abidance itself is called as, abidance in that knowledge itself is called moksha. Now in this Ashtavakra Gita, as I have seen last year, that is in the form of a dialogue between the Guru and the Shishya. This knowledge is unfolded. I won't say it is unfolded actually, because as I told last year, Ashtavakra Gita is not a text of unfoldment of the true nature of oneself. It is a text of only declarations of the revelations or the discoveries of a student and the master, wherein one can reaffirm one's own discoveries if a student has already exposed to this teaching, Vedanta teaching earlier. Really speaking, Ashtavakra Gita, as I already told earlier, is like a rapid reader for those who have already exposed to Vedantic teaching for a long time with the right preparatives of the mind, and who have discovered something concrete, the true nature of oneself. So from that standpoint, that is, it's a text wherein one can reaffirm one's own discoveries. In that, and really speaking, for this No teaching is required. All that you know, need is, if you don't know Sanskrit, a faithful translation you have to keep. And then whatever one has discovered is based on the in-depth learning. So those you can relive from that standpoint, it is the booster as such. So many things need to be, that means, told here are, that means, direct revelations. They are not, why etc. are not told, which has to be done earlier in terms of our own Shravana, Manana, and here is a text which can help us to take to effective Nididhyasana. So already we have taken 6 chapters, so now we can straight away take off. No running on the runway also, straight away we can take off because we have taken to this earlier in detail as such. One aspect has to be kept in mind. In the initial stages, to cognize what my true nature is, that cognition has to be free from all that is falsely superimposed on itself. And the falsely superimposed things are belonging to Anatma, whatever that is not me, including the entire Jagat, which is superimposed on the same I, Chaitanya, or called Brahman. So, but that doesn't mean that Jagat is separate, Anatma is separate, Atma, I is separate, and we have to separate that way. No. Once that cognition is very clear, the false nature of the Anatma, what is not me, from body onwards up to the erroneous I notion, including the entire world, this false notion gets exposed in the clarity of appreciation of one's own true nature. Until that period, certainly a mind which is free from all the visheshas, all the attributes belonging to Anatma, or the body onward the entire world, is certainly indispensable. But that doesn't mean there are two separate things and always one has to be away from that. Once that nishtha is there, the entire Jagat gets reduced to false entity and there is nothing afterward, only me and me alone remains. In this context, the teacher, with an intention to test the student, had told that take to what is called a laya. Laya means withdraw yourself from all the world, let us say, to which the student had given the answer, I need not. Why I need not? Because everything is nothing but me and me only, and from that standpoint means from the status of being totally rooted or nishtha of one's own nature, he has said that I need not take what is called a Laya Yoga. Laya Yoga means withdrawal from the Jagat, I need not take to, that is what he said. Now the question arises, of course what he said was true from the level of his abidance in the true nature of oneself. But the question may arise, if you are not required, if you don't need to withdraw yourself from the world, the Vyavaharika Jagat and the Vyavahara in the Jagat will ramify to such an extent that you will not be able to appreciate your own Swarupa. So that is the possible doubt that can come, to which the student is answering based on his own Anubhava, direct cognition. See, knowledge always means Yathartha Anubhava. Experience, when it is true to the nature of a given thing, is said to be the knowledge of the thing. This is the relation between knowledge and experience. When an experience is not tallying with the true nature of a given thing, we call it as Brahma. Means it is an error. But when it is in accordance with the true nature of the given thing, it is called knowledge. Therefore knowledge can be defined as the cognition of a thing in its true nature. And that cognition is certainly Anubhava, experience. So therefore the And experience is a means to gain the knowledge, but what is to be has to be verified is trueness, whether it is yathartha or ayathartha. If it is ayathartha means not in accordance with the nature of a given thing, it gets reduced to Brahma, erroneous notion, no more knowledge. So here, that cognition of true nature of oneself is so, that means precise, or so, that means in accordance with the true nature, so the false nature of the Jagat gets exposed based on that one's own anubhava. It says that even if I don't withdraw myself from this, I am not going to lose anything. In that sense, this can also serve as an answer to an Ashtanga yogi. Some who follow Ashtanga Yoga is an effective technique accepted by Vedanta. But some claim that even after gaining the knowledge, the jnani should all the time withdraw from the Jagat and get absorbed in Samadhi only. But this is for a person who has already got the Nishtha. If a person has no Nishtha in the knowledge of oneself, certainly Nididhyasana is required to get that clarity and get rid of the erroneous identification, habitual errors have to be got rid of. But not that person. A person who has already got rid of the habitual errors, one who has got Nishtha in the knowledge, even that person has to take to some of that practice of Samadhi all the time. So if he comes out of the Samadhi, what will happen? Samsara will again start. That to such a person who argues like this, to such a person also an answer is given by the student here that I need not. Why? Because this samsara or jagat cannot be anything, it is false in nature. My swarupa is like that. From that standpoint he is reading, that means answering now. 7th chapter, 1st stanza. मय्यनन्तमहाम्बोधौ विश्वपोत इतस्ततः रमते स्वान्तवातेन नममास्त्यः सहिष्णुता मयि अनंत महाम्बोधौ अन्वयते विश्वपोतः स्वान्तवातेन इतस्ततः भ्रमति स्वान्तवातेन इतस्ततः भ्रमति मम असहिष्णुता न अस्ति. The last phrase, sandhi to be broken like this. Mama asti asahishnuta. Anvaya is Mama asahishnuta na asti. So if you insist that I have to withdraw from the entire Jagat, this is what the Jagat is. What its nature is it? Mahi Ananda, this address to Guru. The Shishya is addressing his Guru. Mai Ananta Mahambodhau. In me. What does that mean? Atma, the Chaitanya Swarupa, the pure awareness principle. In me the pure awareness principle. And what is nature? Ananta. That which is limitless. So limitless itself shows that it is nothing but Ananda Swarupa. Its nature itself is the Paramananda Swarupa, independent of everything, absolute happiness. So in that Ananta, Mahambodhau, which is like a Maha-ambudhi, means like an ocean, great ocean, means Vyapaka, that which is all pervasive. So in me, the pure awareness, Chaitanya Rupa Atma, which is nothing but Ananda Swarupa, free from all limitations, no trace of sorrow at all there in it. So in that, this Vishwapotaha, Potaha means a nauka, means a boat. What boat it is? Vishwapota. Vishwakhyaha Potaha. That means this entire creation Jagat called as a pota means a boat. So why? Because it is there where a boat is found in the ocean. So also this Jagat is abiding in the all-pervasive Chaitanya Swarupa, me, Atma, the pure awareness. So therefore this Vishwapotaha, this boat, that means the Jagat compared to a boat, Vishwapotaha, what does it do? Swantavatena itastataha brahmati. Now just imagine a ship in the ocean caught up in the storm. What happens? It gets tossed hither and thither, and it can get carried away anywhere and get dashed against some rock or somewhere. It can get, it's possible. Suppose some island is there, etc. It can get hit. So it has no control on itself. So like this here. But what is the cause for this tossing of the ship? Storm. Like that here in me, with that me, Ananta Mahambodhi, that Atma Swarupa, Chaitanya Swarupa, me, in me, this Vishwapota, this Jagat, also is getting tossed. Itastataha brahmati. That is, gets carried away hither and thither. What is the cause? Like the storm in the ocean? Swantavatina. That the storm is, wind is outside. Here from where the storm has come. Swantaha vataha. The vata, the storm, wind, the storm that exists inside. What is it? Mind, manah pavana. It is the mind. The mind can create at least that storm can be better possible. The mind can create a greater storm. So swantavata. So that's what one's own mind which can create such confusion, tensions and all the wrong values, and based on that all reactions and all that. So swantavatina means manah pavana. You can verify. It is not something to be taken arbitrarily. Mind is there, your world is there. Mind is not there, where is the world? Don't think it's just something told like that. You sleep, temporarily mind is non-functional, your world is not there. Either you dream or you wake up. What is that? Vishwapota is there. So therefore mind is the only cause. So therefore manah pavanena itastataha brahmati. So then is it not a problem for you? He says, no, why should I bother about it? Mama asaishnuta na asti. Means I don't have intolerance about it. I am least bothered about it. How is it? Says, the Swantavatena by Manah Pavana, the mind which is compared to the wind or a star. So this Vishwapota, the Jagat, that means moves hither and thither. I am least bothered about it. To bother about it, what should happen? See, look, in the world there are many things happening. Are you bothered about everything? Certain things bother you. What are those? Huh? What is that? Where you have got interest. Okay, anything else? What bothers you? Huh? Attachment. Why attachment? Huh? Ajnana. Okay, let us take the other way now. What all the things you are least bothered? Yes, you are not concerned. About what are you not concerned? There are many things about which you are not concerned. There are still equally other things about which you are concerned. Now find out what all things you are concerned and what all things you are not concerned. Whatever you want to get something they are giving, there you are concerned. Whatever that gives you sorrow, etc., you are concerned. Is it not? Huh? And which has nothing to do with your either acquisition of sorrow or getting many have not understood. Why others laugh? Acha, did everyone catch the point? So, acquisition of sorrow, are you interested in? No. Acquisition of joy and getting away from sorrow, is it not? So those things you are interested, and about these are not at all connected, you are least bothered about it. Why should you? Why you want happiness and you want to get away from sorrow? Means there are certain things which give you sorrow, which give you joy, happiness, is it not? For whom are they meant? For me. For me they are meant. So therefore on that basis you are dividing the world in two categories. The sources of sorrow and sources of joy. And you are relating that world which you are divided into two divisions. To whom? To me. Which me? That me is wrong me. That me is wrong me. Why that me is wrong me? Because my true nature is nothing but Ananda, free from birth and death. I have mistaken myself to be the body. So therefore, whatever gives me joy, whatever gives me sorrow, we are concerned with. Other things we are not concerned. Now, in this discovery, let us say, if we can know for certain that the entire Vishwapota cannot add to any, that means cannot add or give any sorrow to me, nor can it take any Ananda from me because I am Ananda itself. Have you to do anything with the Jagat? If the Jagat cannot give you any happiness, nor can it give you sorrow. At the same time, you in your true nature is nothing but Ananda Sarupa. Are you bothered about the Jagat? No. This is what it is. This is what you have discovered. So that is, Mai Mama Asahishnuta Na Asti. I am least bothered at that. I don't have any intolerance about them. Why? Because that Jagat cannot do anything to me, neither it can give sorrow to me, nor the Ananda Sarupa I am, it cannot take away. Why are you bothered about that? In my presence they come and go. So this can be reduced in terms of, see, when you say Jagat, as a unit of Jagat, what does it mean? How do you know the Jagat is there? See, Jagat is there, you are telling based on your perception. The perception can be either through the sense organs or directly with the instrumentation of the mind and intellect. Is it not? Now these perceptions, whether of the external world or internal mind, etc., are experienced by us through the channels of Antakarana Vrittis, thoughts. Thoughts give us these experiences. Now these thoughts are inert by themselves, are illumined by Chaitanya Swarupa, me, the pure awareness principle, the only cognitive principle, the only knowledge principle available in the entire creation. And itself is Ananda Swarupa. Can these thoughts which give us the experience of the entire world, can they affect this Chaitanya? No. In its presence, these come and go, whereas Chaitanya is totally unaffected. The one who has discovered this as my Swarupa in direct cognition, not borrowing some information of the Shastras and rattling out afterwards. No. One has directly cognized, for him what all this, that is so-called Vishwapota, which is presented in terms of the patterns of the thoughts, though the external gross world may be there, it has nothing to add to him, nor to subtract from him. He is totally unconcerned. So therefore he said, Mama asahishnuta na asti. I don't have any intolerance about that. Let it come and go. Intolerance comes when it becomes a source of sorrow, or it is a source of joy, but I am not able to get it. Then only it can be. But I am totally independent of that. Therefore, in me there is no asahishnuta. I am least bothered about the so-called vyavahara. It cannot take away anything from me, nor can it add anything in me. Continuing. Mayanantamaham bodhau jagat vichis swabhavataha udetu vastamayatu nami vruddhir na chakshatihi. Not only I am least concerned about the vyavahara in the jagat, but also I have nothing to do with the birth, that means the utpatti, the creation and its dissolution. I am not at all concerned. Means existence of the creation or non-existence of the creation has nothing to do with me. That is, it is not only my asahishnuta. That means I don't have asahishnuta with respect to what all that is available as in the creation, but even its existence or non-existence I have nothing to do. How? Mai ananta maham bodhau jagadvichihi swabhavataha udetu va astam ayatu me vruddhihi na add there asti kshatihi cha na again asti. Mai anantamaham bodhau jagadvichihi swabhavataha udetu va astamayatu me vruddhihi na add asti kshatihi cha na asti. Mai, again Mai means Atmani, the Chaitanya Swarupa Atma. In me, the Chaitanya Swarupa Atma, and not the mistakenly taken the body as I, me. Ananta Maham Bodhau, which itself is Ananta, Vinasha Rahita. Limitless means free from destruction. So Ananta, Vinasha Rahita, Maham Bodhau, Mahan, Vyapaka, the all-pervasive. And like that, like the Ambudhi, like the Samudra, like the ocean, so which is called that is, in that, Jagad Vichihi. Vichi means a wave. Now think of a wave in the ocean. In the ocean, a wave rises, a wave subsides. Is the ocean affected by that? Likewise, in me, the limitless Chaitanya Swarupa, me, this Jagat is like a wave. Jagat Vichihi. Jagat Vichi, that means the entire creation compared to a wave. Swabhavataha udetu va astam ayat. This word, because of its nature, what is the nature of the word Jagat? What is the nature of Jagat in contrast to Chaitanya Rupa I? Jagat changes, right? And anything else? Jagat changes. I change or not? anything that changes, if you take as I, it is not true I. That's how you can see. See, in our personality, you find out what all the things change and what all the things don't change. So, anything that you find changing, it is not me. Body changes or not. Sense organs, organs of actions, pranas, organs of that fine. Then the mind, intellect, ahankara, I notion, sukha, dukkha, everything changes. What is left out? What is left out? There is nothing that is changeless. Atma, where is that? See, look, one thing. Are you aware of all these changes or not? Huh? Now, there must be there must be a principle, a cognitive principle. There must be a cognitive principle because of which you should be able to know. Because inert thing cannot know on its own account. All that is changing is inert in nature. That because of which you are able to know, that itself, that cognitive principle itself is Chaitanya, that is Atma, that is all pervasive, that never changes. Otherwise, changes cannot be cognized without the help of a changeless principle. This is the rule. Any change is cognized with respect to a changeless principle. So that knowledge principle is changeless. So therefore says, so that is Jagat Swabhava. Now what is the contrast now? That is changing, this is change. You have to accept a changeless principle. Anything else? That is Jada. This should be sentient, Sachetana. In other words, whatever that changes is known as this. What is the word for that in Vedanta? Huh? Idam. Another thing. Drishyam. That is Drishya. So Swabhavataha means that Drishyatva is Swabhava. Drishyatva, Jadatva, that itself is Idantva. So in contrast to Drik, the very knowledge principle Chaitanya, which is Ajada. So that is the Swabhavataha, Jagadvichihi, Swabhavataha. Also Swabhavataha can be taken the creative power, the Prakriti or Maya also at times is called as Swabhavataha. So because of this creative power, because of the Maya Shakti, otherwise called as Prakriti. So what happened? In fact, I never change. You see, what is the nature of Chaitanya? Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. It is Satyam. Satyam means Avitatham. Never subject to change. But it is not something inert. Itself is knowledge principle. It is free from all the limitation. Now if this principle is Satyam Jnanam Anantam, never subject to change, all the time same, no birth, no death, limitless. So there cannot be anything other than that. It should be necessarily all pervasive. In all pervasive thing can never get subject to any change. Where can the creation be possible? It is just not possible. Yet Swabhavataha. This Maya power, the creative power, gives an appearance of the Jagat. Just as a rope can never become a snake. And yet, if a person sees a snake in the place of the rope, some power, that is ignorance, which serves as a creative power, has given an appearance of the snake. So therefore, that way, Swabhavataha. Swabhavataha can be taken also in terms of because of, that means the creative power, because of that Jagadvichihi, this entire creation compared to a wave, Uditu, let it rise up, Vam, asti. I don't have any vriddhi. Vriddhi means growth in the sense some gain. I have nothing to gain out of that. Or also astama na kshatihi. Kshatihi cha na asti. Kshati means loss. Neither have I got any gain or any loss. Why? Because I am full, complete, Ananda Swarupa, independent of everything. That itself is called as the Absolute. It's called as the Absolute nature. Absolute means that which is independent of everything, that which is indestructible. So that is what is me. I don't gain anything, nor do I lose anything. Means I have nothing to do with the Vyavahara, nor the creation, its existence or its disappearance. I am independent of that. There is nothing to be gained by these, gained through them, or nothing to be lost on account of them. Now, the Jagat is compared to a wave in the ocean. Means what is the ocean here? What are the parallels now? In the wave, which is vast, there is in the ocean, which is vast, there is a wave. Now what is the parallel to the ocean here? Chaitanya Rupa Sarvavyapi, and Vichi for wave for the Jagat. Wave for the Jagat. Now in the ocean, the wave is a vikara, a modification, because of what they call as the surface tension on the surface of the water. Because of that, the waves, with the help of the wind, what happens? The waves come and go. But wave is a vikara, a modification, a change in the ocean. So one may mistake, in me the Chaitanya Rupa Sarvavyapi, Jagat is a modification. And Jagat is a modification, vikara. Vikara of what? Me, the Chaitanya. If me, the Chaitanya, gets subject to change to become the Jagat, what will happen to me? Anything that is subject to change is destructible. And whatever the destructible has necessarily be limited in nature, it has to be jada in nature. This being the case, how can you say? That means in Chaitanya Rupa, me, Jagat is like a Vichi. So therefore that notion has to be knocked down. Because any words that you use have their limitations. So one aspect was shown from with the help of the illustration of the wave and the ocean. Now whatever the limitations that means that crop up in this illustration, they are dispelled in the next stanza. Means the Jagat is not a change or vikara in Atma, but is only a falsely superimposed thing. Mayananta maham bodhau vishvam nama vikalpana. Atishanto nirakara eta devahamaastitaha. Mai ananta maham bodhau nama vishvam vikalpana. Atishantaha nirakaraha etad eva aham astitaha. Mai ananta maham bodha. This phrase we have already seen in these earlier two stanzas. In me, the Chaitanya Rupa, me, which is all pervasive. Nama here is not name. In Sanskrit, Nama also means is an indeclinable. It can mean prasiddham. It is well known. It is well known that In me the Chaitanya Rupa, all is it me the Chaitanya. Vishwam Vikalpana. See, Nama Prasiddha, you'll say, where is it Prasiddha? Prasiddha from two standpoints, not simply Shastra. One from Shastra, other from standpoint of Vidvat Anubhava. The direct discovery of the great masters who have themselves verified this truth. See, Shastras may say many things, but if they are not verified, then what will happen? Maybe it is true, but we can't know about it. No, that means the great masters themselves have discovered the truth about that. Therefore, it is Prasiddhi of Shastra, Prasiddhi of Vidvat Anubhava. Vishwam, this Jagat, entire creation is only a Vikalpana. So, Vikalpana means just a Brahma, an erroneous notion, not true. There is nothing called as Jagat. In the sense, we don't deny the experience of that, but in reality, there is nothing called separately as Jagat. So it is only Vikalpana, only a false projection of the mind, which was called earlier Swantavata. So it's only a false projection, just as a snake seen in the place of the rope is only a false projection, so is a projection. Whereas, what is my true nature? Atishantaha. I am Atishanta, totally Shanta. To be totally Shanta, what is required? Then you get Ashanti. Yes, that mind is true. Vishwa is there, Ashanti is there. And Vishwa includes mind also. See, actually, Vishwa is projection of the mind. When this Vishwa is there, that means Ashanti is there. Whereas Vishwa is not there, Ashanti is not there. Now, my true nature, is it Vishwa Jagat? Is it my feature? Is it my Guna Dharma, characteristic feature? No. So therefore, I am who is the me? Prapanchopa Shamaha. Prapanchopa Shamaha. So therefore, in me, this Prapancha, which itself is a misfortune, calamity as it were, is not there. So therefore, Ati Shanta. So generally we seek Shanti. I think many have come to Mahabaleshwar camp. What for? To get Shanti. And when exposed to Ashtavakara Gita, Shanti or Ashanti? I don't know what is being spoken. I came all the way, so, but there is something, even I can't say going over the head. It is going over it, it's somewhat near the head, but this is nowhere near the head at all. Shanti or Ashanti? So which Shanti we are speaking? We are speaking of a Shanti which is a frame of mind. Is it not? A quiet frame of mind, that is our concept of Shanti. May be indispensable in the beginning, but that itself is not there, because mind can never be all along Shanta, because its nature itself is so that it has to go on changing. Mind is a tool. Its job is to change rapidly, otherwise the purpose for which the mind is created will not be served. Mind is meant for what purpose? To deal with the world. When you have to deal with the world, the tool required is what? Mind. And if it is a sluggish mind, then what will happen? We'll have to whip it up. Is it not? Therefore, mind has to be that way. So therefore, now here say, Atishanta, we are not talking of a frame of mind which is relatively quiet, etc. That will not last long as such. Now this Atishantatva that here to spoken is the Swarupa Shanti, because which is free from Prapancham, is free from mind itself. free from mind itself. Mind is something which comes and goes in me, but I am free from that. That is it not? When the mind comes and when the mind comes and when the mind goes. Waking and the dream, mind is present. In sleep, mind is absent. But you know the absence of the mind also. You are present or not when the mind was not there in the sleep. That is one Shanta Swarup. Therefore, it is not something, it is not some technique or something by which you can command some peace. That is fine. One thing, even to discover Swarupa, Shanta Mana is required. Otherwise, what will happen? All the vagaries of the mind will get superimposed on me and you will mistake them as the nature of Atma. So, Ati Shanta, this is not the frame of mind. The Swarupa itself, again it is Nirakara. Why it is Ati Shanta? Because it is Nirakara. Any akara, form, means change. Form means limitations. Any form is something limited. So, akara, and that limited thing is bound to change. But here is nirakara, formless, means limitless. So, therefore it is atishanta. So, this being my swarupa, this etad eva aham ashritaha. Here is a direct reply. What the Guru said in the chapter 5th chapter. See, 5th chapter he has told repeatedly, Evameva layam raja, Evameva layam raja, Evameva layam raja. He has said four times he has said, Guru has said, for which he has replied that I have nothing to do with laya or graha, I have nothing to get something nor get away from something, he had told. So that because my swarupa is this, so therefore etadeva. Etadeva means this direct cognition of myself, this Atma Jnana. Etad stands here for Atma Jnanam eva aham me ashritaha. Ashritaha means ashritaha. So ashritaha, I am, that means I take resort to only the Atma Jnana. There is a hint there. Natu laya yogam ashritaha. I don't take recourse to Laya Yoga. Laya Yoga means simple withdrawal from the Jagat. And who is that one who withdraws from the Jagat? I withdraw myself from the Jagat. Which is that I? The body, that means the embodiment taken as I, means erroneous entity. So therefore, no. Natulayo laya yogam asritaha. I don't take resort in laya yoga, but etad means this atma jnana, the direct cognition of my swarupa, wherein I am least bothered about the existence or non-existence of the jagat, including all dealings that are available, that are possible in there. So how you are atishantaha? So that means your swarupa is totally nothing but peace only. The reason is this. That is explained further. Natma bhavishu no bhavas tatranante niranjani. Ityasakto sprah shanta eta devahamaastitaha. Atma bhaveshu na bhavaha tatra anante niranjane na u. No means no. Aham now iti, that take first word iti, aham asaktaha aspruhaha shantaha etad eva asthitaha. Atma bhaveshu nasti bhavaha tatra anante niranjane nau iti aham asaktaha aspruha shantaha etadeva Astitaha. Atma, the Chaitanya Swarupa I Atma, Bhaveshu Nasti. Bhava, see, Bhava word can have many meanings. Bhava can be a thought, Bhava can be bhavana, meditation, Bhava can mean things. Now here it means things in the sense dehadi. So Bhaveshu means dehadishu, in the upadis, embodiments. So deha, mana, buddhi, in this, deha, antakarana, all that. So Atma, Bhaveshu means dehadishu nasti. Don't think that Atma is something contained in this body vessel. See, inside like means, just suppose, you have a basket, and in the basket there are apples. So basket is the Adhara, and the apples are something which are placed Adheya. So like that, don't think. So, or let us say, a pot is there. You will say, space is in the pot. No? Yes or no? No? There is space in the pot because we have got lot of space here. Who told you pot is in space in the pot? Tell me now. Whether space is in the pot or pot is in the space? Huh? Space is in the pot or pot. Now both. Oh, then why did you say first? Space is in the pot. For Vyavahara, what do you do? 1 liter pot. What is that? 1 liter pot means you are taking only that 1 liter volume, is it not? And that is where in that particular pot. Vyavahara say, but the truth is, pot is in space and not space in pot. Understood? Now you say that. Like that, see, don't think that body is a vessel wherein Atma is kept. Then it may be other way then. What is other way? What is the other way? You just now told space, the pot is in the... See, space is not in the the pot is in the space. So like that, here what will happen now? The bhava, that is bhavaha. Bhava means what? Dehadi. Dehadi are where? In the Atma. I think this should hold good. No? Why not? When the Deha, see, when the Deha Adi will be in Atma, when the pot is in space, pot is a separate entity from space, is it not? Pot is something different from space. Whereas here, Deha etc., are they something independent and different from the Atma? No. They are not made, they are not. See, degree of reality of pot and space is one and the same. Both have got the Vyavaharika Satta. But here means why? Either both exist or both don't exist. Whereas here, body and Atma, what happens? Or you can say, there also you can say, pot is made up of a metal. You may take help of Vedanta itself. No, Swamiji, not that way. When Vilaya takes place, Prapancha Vilaya takes place, what happens? They say, you know how the dissolution of the Jagat takes place? The dissolution starts from the gross one. The earth gets dissolved into water, water into fire, fire into air into space, space into creative power Maya, Maya no more functioning, dormant in Brahma. Now you may say, suppose Pralaya has taken place, earth has gone means what has happened to your pots? Gone. but space is still there. But that space also is subject to destruction or not? Yes. Means the part and space belong to the same category of being destructible in nature. Now compare between Chaitanya and Jagat. Bhava. Bhava means here embodiment. Bhava is destructible. Chaitanya indestructible. So therefore you can't say that they are not the two independent entities. No. So therefore Bhava has no existence at all from Chaitanya. So therefore Bhavaha means Dehadi. Tatra. Tatra means in that Atma Ananti Niranjani. In that Atma which is Ananta, limitless, Niranjana, free from sorrow, free from ignorance. So Ananti. See. Now means in short what is said is between Atma and the embodiment there is no Adhara Adheya Bhava. One is supporter and other is supported. No. Actual relation is what? If you accept the existence of Jagat, the relation is that of, what is it? Don't know what is the relation? Two words I want. Adhyastha and Adhishthana. Like rope and the snake. Snake is Adhyastha, falsely superimposed, and this is Adhishthana, the base. That is what is, that means Chaitanya is Adhishthana, the base, which is, that is, and whereas this is Adhyastha, superimposed. So therefore, and what a relation between Adhyastha and Adhishthana is what? No, what type of relation it is? It is not a true relation. It is not the two independent things. It is only an appearance only. But what is that only? Adhishthana only is the one. So that being the case, so this Adhara Adheya Bhava is not there. So Niranjane, in me it is not there. Iti, because of this reason, Aham, with this me, my Swarupa me, Atma Swarupa me, Aham, Asaktaha. Asakta means Samsargarahita. I have no connection whatsoever, means I am totally independent of that. See, if a person in darkness mistakes the rope for a snake, what relation the rope has got with the snake? No. From that standpoint, you may say, no, rope is the Adhishthana and the snake is Adhyastha. That's fine, only to make him discover what is there only? Rope. Otherwise, it is not a true relation. Even Adhyastha Adhishthana also is not a true relation. But to make the person discover the Adhishthana free from Adhyastha, we have to take the help of that. So therefore, he says, here also, Asaktaha, truly speaking, I have nothing to do with all this. Asaktaha, Samsargarahita, and because Samsargarahita, therefore I am Aspruhaha. Aspruha means free from Ichcha, Raga, Dvesha, etc. When desires, likes, dislikes, when do they crop up? We have desires for what? Things that exist, is it not? Have you got a desire for non-existing things? No. So therefore, now here, Asakta means Samsargarahita. I am independent of that. So when I am independent, I have nothing to do with that. I don't have Spruha, Ichchadi, Dharma also are not there. And when Ichchadi Dharma is not there, automatically, do you know what is my true nature? Shantaha means Ichcha is there, what is there? Ichcha is there, Ashanti. That Ichcha is not there, Ashanti is not there. Any doubt about this? See, look, you can verify. Moment you get rid of desires, You need not say Shanti, Shanti, Shanti at all. So automatically what is there is only nothing but Shanti. Even say however sattvic desire may be, however noble desire may be, so Ashanti is bound to be there. So therefore Ashanta, Aspraha, with no desires, therefore no Ashanti, therefore Shantaha eva. So that will indicate Aham etadeva asitaha, means this Atma Jnana only I take resort to, and not that Laya Yoga. Another reason why I have no desires. Desires because of incompleteness. Something is lacking. Perhaps I will be better if I have that, or see that, or hear that, taste that, touch that. So here say, because I don't need anything, I am full and complete, therefore also I don't have desires. Aho chinmatra mevaham indra jalopamam jagat. Ato mama katham kutra heyo padeya kalpana. Aho chinmatram eva aham jagat indrajalopamam ataha mama kutra katham heyo padeya kalpana. Oh, wonder. Chinmatram eva aham. So I am what? Nothing but Chinmatram. Kevala. Matra means Kevala. I am nothing but Chaitanya and Chaitanya only. Now this word Chaitanya is simply a word for us. Do you know what is the nature of that Chaitanya? What is the nature of Chaitanya? It is Ananda Swarupa. Chaitanya is nothing but Ananda Swarupa. Any Ananda is because of Chaitanya only, but sorrows appear to be there because of the superimposed things. So therefore, the one who is Ananda Swarupa Aham, whereas in contrast is Jagat is Indrajalopamam. Indrajala means like a magic. Magic exists so long as you see it, but it has no separate existence. Except for false projection, a magic has no separate existence. The Jagat is only a simply projection, appears to be there so long as you experience that, whereas me, the Chaitanya, is always there independent of the Jagat. And therefore, and Chaitanya being Ananda Swarupa, I have nothing to get from this Jagat which is like the magic. Ataha, therefore, Mama, for me, Kutra. Kutra means Kutra Vastuni, in which objects, Katham, in what way, Kena Prakarena, in what way, in which object, Heyopadeya Kalpana. This projection, that means Kalpana, imagination of this I want, this I don't want. Heya means giving up. Upadeya is acquiring. Acquiring or rejection is just not possible in either of these. Heyopadeya Kalpana is not possible, because where I have to get something or get rid of something, then that means these notions of give and take come. So here it's just not possible because I am independent of that. Jagat has no existence at all on its own. So therefore I don't have any desires with respect to anything, including the body also. I have no desire at all.